Why should you read this summer? And why do we care if you read this summer? First, reading for pleasure helps you get much better at reading, and reading better will help you in the fall in school. Second, it also helps you get better at writing. It's surprising that research shows that reading is the best way to get better at writing. It also helps you increase your vocabulary. Don't forget about those pesky SATs coming up. Reading will help you get ready. There are 5 things we need you to do to get ready for summer reading this summer. First, choose a book discussion group. You're going to read at least 3 other books, checking to see if you have books for honors courses and electives. I also want you to check out and see if you want to do distinguished summer reading or not. And this year it's new. We want you to keep track of your reading on goodreads.com. To sign up for a summer reading book, please go to the form that is on our summer reading website. There's a link from the library page. Or you can use this QR code to go to the form if you have a mobile device. They are hanging around the school. You must read 4 books this summer. 1 from your book discussion group, 1 for honors or elective courses, and the rest free choices. If you don't have any honors or elective, just read 3 free choice books. For distinguished summer reading, if you read 2,500 pages and write a review for each of those books on Goodreads, you will be invited to a special party this year featuring a significant food treat, possibly something cold and yummy. After you sign up for summer reading, you'll get an invite to a Goodreads group for your book discussion group. That way you'll know which book to read. Please sign up and join your group after your invitation. Then you should keep track of the 3 other books you read on Goodreads. That's how I'll know that you've done your reading. It's actually quite fun, and you can see what your friends are reading and compare notes. Now, here come your choices.
I loved The Running Dream by Wendelin van Dran. It's about a track star who faces tragedy that completely changes her life. She was able to follow her dreams even though they seemed impossible, and helps her unlikely friend reach for her dreams as well.
Hi, I'm Gavin, and
I'm Rick.
and our book is 1984.
It's a really good book. It's about a guy who lives in like a totalitarian state, like the Soviet Union. It's a socialist
Totalitarian
state, and it explores. Well, it pretty much explores the issues that around it, of his dissent from the party and other people's dislike of the party, and just how strict the totalitarian states are.
And another part of it is kind of how this whole idea of like Big Brother and like sometimes some things that have come up in like recent like American news and stuff like that has been like the Patriot Act and how much the government should know and being part of our lives, and that's kind of a big topic of this book too.
It's a classic book. Like the term "Big Brother is watching you" is from this book.
1984.
It's really good. It's also a movie.
Good book.
It's also a movie.
We could watch the movie if you join the book club too.
Possibly, but you should still read it.
Read it first. And you should join it because, well, 1, me and Rick are doing it, so we're nice guys. And 2, it's a great book, and yeah, it's an interesting book, and if you like kind of that kind of stuff we talked about, then join up. Thanks, guys.
Join our group.
I'm Lily.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're reading The Help by Catherine Stockett. How far would you go to tell your story? Would you risk your friendships, your relationship, your job? The Help is a story of friendship, personal growth, and the need to tell stories that no one else will tell. Nowadays, it's a bit easier for anybody to tell their story, but back in the 1960s, not everyone had a right to say anything or the right to express themselves. The story of The Help was the idea of Skeeter, a young, headstrong, educated woman. Skeeter had always admired her family's domestic worker, Constantine, who had helped raise her, but Skeeter had never known the struggles that domestic workers in the South were exposed to. Black maids had been raising white children and taking care of white households for years, but didn't have respect from their employers. Skeeter decides to collect a series of interviews from the point of view of The Help, but little did she know about the danger of revealing the stories.
Abu and Clark and Minnie Jackson had worked as domestic workers for years. They had raised children and were underappreciated by their bosses. As the story goes on, you get to see their personal growth and how they interact with their employers. The Help will make you laugh, cry, and really think about how you treat others.
I'm reading Ender's Game. It's a very exciting book. Science fiction. It's set in the future. there's a lot of action and some great plot twists, and there's one that you'll never see coming. So if you want to know the ending, you should read Ender's Game.
Hi, my name is Cora, and I want you to read The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. It's an amazing book about an old man that travels on the sea, and he'll just blow you away with the language, and even though it's a small package, it comes packed with lots and lots of stuff that's amazing to talk about, and it takes forever to analyze. I'm going to read an excerpt. He always thought of the sea as La Mar, which is what people call her in Spanish when they love her. Sometimes those who love her say bad things of her, but they all are always said as though she were a woman. Some of the younger fishermen, who used buoys as floats for their lines and had motorboats, bought when the shark livers had brought much money, spoke of her as El Mar, which is masculine. They spoke of her as a contestant, or a place, or even an enemy, but the old man always thought of her as feminine, and something that gave or withheld great favors. And if she did wild or wicked things, it was because she could not help them. The moon affects her as it does a woman, he thought. So, thanks for listening. I hope you choose this book, because I think that you'll really benefit from it, and it will bring a lot to the way you think about things. And come and take this ride on the ocean with an old man and a marlin.
We're doing the book The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. It's a book in the perspective of a dog, telling the tale of a family and their life over time.
Something I love about the book is that, well, I have 2 dogs, and I always wonder what they're thinking, what their view of things is. So this book, The Art of Racing in the Rain, made me, it just made me wonder and made me think a little bit more about my own dogs.
What would you do if you woke up one morning to find a set of tapes that had been recorded by your classmate who had just committed suicide? This is exactly what happens to Clay Jensen in the book 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. What he thought would be a normal day is completely ruined, or perhaps just startled, when he finds a set of cassette tapes that were recorded by his former classmate, Hannah, who had committed suicide. In it, when he begins to listen to it, he learns that if he doesn't listen to it, that it'll be revealed to the public, which details crimes and embarrassing incidents that could lead to the arrest of some and the humiliation of others. It describes exactly why she committed suicide, specifically because of a few individuals that have been mentioned in these tapes, ranging from the school therapist to a peeping Tom to a person who caused the death of an old man. Throughout the entire book, he goes out through the entire town, going to the places that Hannah describes in order to figure out the mystery behind her suicide. I definitely recommend this book. It was very good.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and the book I'm reading is called All of These Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin, and it's set in the not-too-distant future in 2063, where caffeine is illegal and so is chocolate. And I really like this book because the main character, it shows how she goes through a lot of hardships of taking care of her family and having to deal with water shortages, and it's really relatable because you see how she is forced to be an adult before she's ready to take on those big responsibilities.
Hi, I'm Robin. Hi, I'm Saonia Hughley, and we're reading Boy 21 by Matthew Quick. Basketball has always been an escape for Finley. He lives in broken-down Belmont, a town ruled by the Irish mob, drugs, violence, and racially charged rivalries. At home, his dad works nights, and Finley is left to take care of his disabled grandfather alone. He's always dreamed of somehow getting out, but until he can, putting on that number 21 jersey makes everything seem okay.
Russ has just moved to the neighborhood, and the life of this teen basketball phenom has been turned upside down by tragedy. Cut off from everyone he knows, he won't pick up a basketball, but answers only to the name Boy 21, taken from his former jersey number.
As their final year of high school brings these two boys together, Boy 21 may turn out to be the answer they both need.